One of my favorite ways to factor is using something called the box method. I'm a really visual learner, so I like seeing where all the components go when I factor. Let me show you what this process looks like here for this x squared minus 4x plus 4 polynomial, and then we'll check out some more examples in later videos. So first thing I do with this box method is I start by drawing a 2 by 2 little grid. And if there's a GCF in common, if there's some sort of number that they all have, as always, I should pull that out to the front. In this top left corner, I'm going to put the ax squared term. So up here, I'm going to put this x squared piece. In the lower right corner, I'm going to put the constant. So you're always going to have the highest power up here in the top left. You're going to have the number all by itself in the bottom right. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find a list of all pairs for the factor a times c. I'm going to find all numbers that multiply to my a times my c. In this case, 1 times 4, just 4. And there aren't a ton of numbers that do that. I have 1 and 4. I have 2 and 2. I might need negatives, so maybe -1, -4. That still multiplies to 4. Maybe -2, -2. And I want them to add to that middle number. My middle number here is at -4. So always attach the signs to these. That's a -4 because of the minus sign in front of it. So this is really just the AC method, but it's done visually. So 1 and 4 adds up to 5. That's not what I want. 2 and 2 gives me 4, close but not quite. -1 and -4 gives me -5. -2 and -2 gives me -4. So when we were doing factoring by grouping, we were splitting up the centered term with the x into -2x and -2x. So we're still going to do the same thing here. So after I've listed the pairs of a times c, and I found the pair that adds to the b, I'm going to take these two numbers and put them in the remaining boxes here with the letter x. So I'm going to have -2 with an x. That's my first one. I'm going to have -2 with the x. That's my second one. As a second to final step here, I'm going to factor vertically and horizontally to see what things have in common. So for example, x goes into both x squared and -2x. -2x and 4, these both have a 2 in common. Now because of that negative sign, I might even try a -2 to start out with. I can always fix the signs if I need to. X squared and -2x, they have x in common. Now as I go, I can actually check to see if things are working because I can multiply as a grid. So x times x gives me x squared. That looks good. X times -2 gives me -2x. That's a really good thing I had the negative there. Otherwise, that sign wouldn't have worked out. Same way here. I can see already that -2x and 4 have the number 2 in common. But if I want these to multiply out correctly, maybe this should be a -2. Let's try it. -2 times x, -2x. -2 times -2, +4. So I'm just talking through this process again. I started with a grid. Top left, I'm putting that x squared term. Lower right, I'm putting my constant. I'm doing a times c. I'm finding the things that multiply to a times c. I want them to add to that middle number b. Once I find the pair, I'm splitting it up just like the AC method does. But I'm going to factor things out in common vertically and horizontally, and I can multiply to check as I go. If I do this correctly, I'll find my factors, my final answer, there on the sides. I have x minus 2 and x minus 2. That's how this factors out. This is something that takes a little bit of time to get started and used to, but once you do get used to it, you may find that this is actually a much faster way to do the problem, and the bonus of multiplying things out really shows you if you've done the problem correctly. So this is my favorite way of factoring. I like using the box method, but as always, it's important that you use the method that you feel the most comfortable with.